Olá, tudo bem? Aqui é o Jorge, mais um episódio de A Case of Distrust. A gente tinha acabado de falar com o Frank, vou acabar de olhar aqui se falta esse barrilzinho e a gente parte para outro lado da história, né? Procurar mais sobre a carta que o Green recebeu. Não tem o parágrafozinho, porque porque eu tô gravando tudo junto. Mas acho que o parágrafo todo começo de semana é mais que o suficiente. Então vamos ver esse barril e... Once I asked Frankie to lend me some cash from that register. Uma caixa. He growled so fierce that I decided not to ask again. I didn't think his employers would notice before I got it back, but maybe he just wanted to save me from myself. Bom, vamos embora. The worn stairs left in the outside world. Desculpa pela moto que tá passando. Eu vou esperar ela passar. Oi, voltei. Eu ia sair pelas escadas, né? E aí veio isso. I was heading up the stairs when Frankie called after me. So what are you gonna do? I've been thinking about little Fanny. I suppose even mobsters had people who cared about them, and she'd been wearing Lewis's old jacket, so perhaps Green and Lewis had been closer than I realized. I guess I'll take Connor Green's bait, I replied. I've got nothing better on the stove. And he might need help. Desculpa. Something still stinks, though. Well, what's your plan? Frankie asked. The way I see it, I have 3 goals right now. Isso é importante. Aí foi pras notes. Green hired me for a job. Find the guy who wrote the letter. That's the basic part. But you want more? asked Frankie. I nodded. Green's a shady character. I have to learn about him. Who's this guy? Digging his past. I can't go back to him blind. And then there's something about his bootlegging. How did Green get a connection like that? What is source exactly? Squeezing that lemon might give me more juice. Então show, são nossos 3 objetivos. That sounds alright, he replied. So where is it you're off to? I've got 3 leads. That bootlegger stable, who Green claims sent him the letter. The Tin Spoon Lounge, where I might learn more about Green's rum-running schemes, and Mrs. Green, who could give me more dirt on her husband. Frankie nodded his approval. Well, if you're ever stuck, come back and see me. You can never solve anything with dog talking it over. I smiled and went up the stairs. Frankie é o nosso parça, brother. Esse cara sim. Esse cara vai ajudar pra caralho, já tô vendo. Então vamos lá. On the job. Pode crer. I was debating where to go next. Será pra onde eu vou, hein? Eu acho, eu ia direto pro barbeiro. Mas eu acho que eu vou pro lounge primeiro, saber um pouquinho mais sobre o Green, sem falar com a esposa dele, pra ir pro barbeiro com mais pistas. Acho que é importante. Então vamos lá, pro Spoon Lounge. Enquanto isso, eu vou tomar um gole d'água. Bom, the Tin Spoon Lounge was a speakeasy in North Beach run by Tiny Paul, the gangster that Green had put in with. I'd never been there. The mob keeps a tight lip on their own houses, but I figured it would be a good place to chase Green's bootlegging story. Go here. Show de bola. I grabbed a taxi cab and told the driver where I wanted to go. I thought about talking with him on our way. Claro, vamos falar. A gente é uma detetive, né? A gente tem que ter o máximo possível de conexões. We started talking about boxing. My brother was traveling out east last fall. Won a couple of tickets to a boxing match in a dice game. Wouldn't you know it? It's the Dempsey fight. I asked about a fight. Dempsey and Furple, that was the heavyweight bout of the century. El toro de las pampas, he said in an exaggerated bellow. The big bull comes up from Argentina and tries to knock our boy off his game, but good old Jack came back. How are your brother's seats? I asked. The driver laughed. 80,000 fans. He was behind all of them. Could have seen it clear from a Zeppelin. Hell of a fight to hear over the airwaves, though. You're right, miss. Bout of the century. Pode crer. We pulled up to my destination and I left a taxicab. Perfeito. Que chique. I opened the cab door in front of a North Beach warehouse with a wooden sign. The sign's text was too worn for me to decipher any of its English, but a small gray spoon was still visible below the letters. Perfeito. I rapped my knuckles twice over the large metal door. A panel just above my head slid sideways to reveal a pair of eyes, que aqui é par de sobrancelhas. The eyes looked me up and down, and then just stared ahead. They were black and held no emotion. The room beyond was dimly lit, so I couldn't see much of their surrounding face. Desculpa. Manotas. I cleared my throat. Then a rumbling voice emerged from behind the door. Fill full your cups. Feel no distress at all our great thoughts, shrinking less. I looked at the eyes, still moving. I understood. The doorman wanted a password. I thought I might have something in my notes that could help. Eu duvido que eu tenha alguma coisa nas minhas notas. Duvido. Mas eu não tenho um statement. Não tenho nada. Deixa quieto, vou ficar. Stay silent. I stayed silent after a beat. The small window slid shut with a thud. Prohibition was a joke in San Francisco, and most speakeasies would let just about anyone through the door. But the mob ones weren't as relaxed with their rules. I knew I wouldn't enter until I said the correct response. I wondered who I could ask about a speakeasy password. Eu acho não, é óbvio que a mulher do Green, a Leo Fanny, tem o password, porque ela trabalha lá, né? Será que eu vou pra lá? Ou eu vou direto pra barbearia? Acho que eu vou pra barbearia, depois eu vou pra Green. Tudo bem. Green had suspected Redstone Stable, inclusive, puta nome da hora, né? Redstone Stable, of sending him that letter. Apparently, Stable owned a barber shop in the financial district. I figured there would be no harm in asking Stable about it directly. Go here. E a gente vai pegar taxizeiras e... I grabbed a taxi cab and told the driver where I wanted to go. I thought about talking with him on our way. Esse textinho é sempre o mesmo, então eu vou parar de ler ele, tá? Mas a conversa, que eu sempre vou fazer porque eu gosto de conversar, eu sempre vou ler, óbvio. Long shift, I asked. I said the driver with was as much gravel as a cement mixer. Been on the road 6 hours, probably pulling another 6 before I go home to the missus. Seems like I waste away in this taxi while the boss just overflows his coffers. I kept him talking, and he complained about his life for a while, and ended with, but it's the same shit for all working folks, ain't it? They tell me we've got a hope, but then the rich made the rules and only the rich break 'em too. I've been reading Henry R. Carey. Fella talks a lot about this. Says America's ruled in secret by rich men, and the wise leaders don't get to the top and ain't encouraged to do so. So that's your way out, he smiled. Keep reading, stay sharp, become one of the rich men. The great thing about America, anyone can get there. Olha, Mesmo que eu, Jorge, discorde, eu vou concordar porque, né? Puta, assim, você que agora na época do Uber nem tanto, mas antes quando era só táxi, você não discordava de jeito nenhum de nada que o taxista falava. Então eu vou concordar. I agree with them. The power of the free market, I said. You get out what you put in. The cab driver smiled and nodded. Anyhow, he said, we've arrived. You have a good one, miss. I thanked him and left the taxicab. The barber shop was down an alley in the financial district, opposite the red brick National Bank. Caralho, que barulho. The small bell above the door twinkled as I walked in. Tá, eu vou dar uma olhadinha primeiro, né? Deixa eu ver aqui. The maroon leather chair looked comfortable. It seemed elaborate for a barbershop waiting chair. The two sides of the mirror's frame were cylindrical, painted blue, red, and white to look like barber's poles. It clashed with the otherwise elegant furnishings. Pode crer, meio brega mesmo. The modern hydraulic barber chair had always seemed ostentatious to me, but this one, with its soft brown cushions and gold embroidery, was the most ornate I had ever seen. Pode crer. Deixa eu ver o que tem aqui. Stable's cabinet were similar to my own, but where mine was a dull gray metal, his was a deep red wood that looked heavy. Vou esperar o cachorro parar de conversar e eu já venho. Oi, os cachorros eles vão continuar uivando de vez em quando, mas só pra acabar o episódio, né? Ah, aqui eu não vi. The hat rack was a deep mahogany, engraved with gold lettering that read Fraser & Co. Furnishings. Vamos direto falar com a pessoa. There was a tall man in the center of the room. He was wearing a flamboyant pink suit, tailored to accentuate his stature, with a maroon bow tie and pocket square. I gathered this was Redstone Stable. Nossa, perdão. Olha, que bonitinho. The man turned to face me. He grinned and his squint blue eyes made the smile feel genuine. I must apologize, he said. We do not take walk-ins. I studied his face. The wrinkles around his eyes indicated he was at least 40, but the rest of his skin was clean and smooth. He wore no hat and shaved his head completely bald. When combined with his smooth skin, it hinted at a look of a small turtle. His pink suit and maroon accessories only added to his eccentricity. He smiled and said, "How foolish of me. Of course you are here for information, Miss Malone." Vou mandar how about a drink só pra ser, né? Well, how about a drink, I asked, to get us started right. Stable's eyes lit up and he laughed. You were completely unlike the other sleuths. Eu acho que é sleuths. Talvez seja sloths, mas acho que é sleuths. He poured me a whiskey and handed it to me. As I gulped it, he asked me why I was there, with genuine curiosity in his voice. Eu vou falar, mas eu não posso ir direto, né? Eu vou mandar... Eu vou mostrar a coisa. The day before he came to me, Green had received a typewritten letter that read, "End your game or we'll end you." It was signed with only a small black hand in the bottom right corner. I pulled Green's note from my pocket and showed it to him, but didn't let him hold it. Green tells me this letter is from you. Não era eu. Justamente não queria falar isso, mas tudo bem. I told him he doesn't like threats. Stable lowered his head to study the note and chuckled. His knowing grin returned to his face. But this is a black hand letter, he said, flourishing a hand towards the paper. Have you ever seen a black hand letter, Miss Malone? I confess I hadn't. Exactly, he said. You should ring your friend Shipman at the station and ask what it means. Okay, Sam Shipman had been one of my uncle's regular partners in the vice rackets. I wondered what Shipman could have to do with Green's case. Stable seemed to think that he had a lot to do with it. I pocketed the letter and continued with my questions, but I made a note to stop by police headquarters and see Shipman. Well, Miss Malone, he smiled. Will there be anything else? Acho que não. Acho que é isso, né? Acho que tá show. Nothing now, I said, and turned back to the barbershop. Qualquer coisa eu volto pra cá, né? Eu vou parar por aqui o episódio. Não sei se ficou mais longo, mais curto, do jeito certo. Opa, tem esse quadrinho aqui. The frame on the back wall contained a yellow photograph of an old man. He had an authentic smile and held scissors in his left hand. Pode crer. Muito obrigado por assistir até aqui. Espero que você esteja gostando. Eu tô gostando bastante. É um jogo relaxante também. Uma puta trilha sonora. Mas enfim. Espero que você tenha gostado. Até a próxima e um beijão.